kids, and welcome. My name is Toy Peters. I am a teen entrepreneur and author of the book The Power of Words for Teens. So today I'm actually sharing with you guys 6 books I loved to read as a kid. These are the books that actually got me to read rather than like listen to audiobooks, and some of these I went ahead and listened to as a kid. I actually have dyslexia, so as a kid it was so much easier for me to just listen to an audiobook rather than read it, and I processed it way better than if I had been reading the book to begin with. And honestly, my mom didn't particularly want to read to me all the time, so she got me into audiobooks, and that kept me from being bored most of the time, honestly, and it helped me and my imagination grow, which is a really amazing thing. But some of these books I read, and some of them I listened to on audiobook. Actually, a lot of these I ended up going back and reading later, even like just in the book itself, after I had first heard the story. So we're gonna start with the 6 books that I loved as a kid, right? Okay, so the number one is Ramona. So right now I have Ramona the Pest. I think the first one is Ramona and Beezus. This is book number 2, I believe. I actually bought it for, I wanted to do a speech for speech and debate using it, and I needed a script model, and then I realized that by the time I had gotten Ramona the Pest, I was already too big to do a speech that was about Ramona, but that's okay. I still absolutely love this book, and so if you have kids or you have like a little cousin or something and you want to share a book with them, Ramona is really good for like little girls. So yes, definitely Ramona is one of my favorites. Ramona the Pest is it's by Beverly Cleary, and it is about little Ramona, and I believe it's about her going to school for the first time, kindergarten, and all her adventures that have to do with that, and how she has to learn how to get along with other kids who are not necessarily the nicest to her, along with dealing with her sister and everything like that. It's just a hilarious little book. If you know anything about little kids, it's absolutely accurate, just adorable. So you should definitely read Ramona the Pest. Number 2 is The Warrior Cats. Now this one I would probably recommend for kids who are probably like, I'd say 8 to 12. You're getting into like preteen stuff, but I'd say 8 to 12. Maybe a little bit older than 8, maybe like 9, but this one is really, really good. A lot of kids, I would say, like this book. I loved this book. I'm a little bit older now, and there's kind of a lot that happens in these books that is a little bit less interesting to me now that I'm older. But honestly, I'd still recommend these books if you haven't read them, because they're really cool, especially if you love cats. I love cats. I've got this Unikitty pop socket. It's upside down, but that's alright. Honestly, cats are probably my favorite thing. So, Into the Wild is about a house cat who realizes that there are feral cats living in the woods behind his house. And he tries to go join them and be prejudiced against kitty pets and all that fun stuff. And it actually talks about some pretty deep topics in the series, and they're just really, really good. So if you get the chance, you should definitely read Warrior Cats Into the Wild. Yes, it's by Erin Hunter, and it's amazing. So if you like cats and you're a little bit older than, I'd say like 8 to 9 and like 12 to, actually I think I liked these till I was about 15 even. So these are definitely good books to go with. There's a ton of those too, so if you're not a big reader, there's a ton of them, and they might actually get you into reading if you are definitely a cat lover. We have the Disney Fairy books. Now I started reading them when I was about 8 to 9, and they're really, really good. Like, they're super fun, and as you can tell, I liked cats and fairies and things like that. I still love fairies, and you'll probably see more Disney fairy stuff coming up here. But yeah, no, like these are really, really good. So if I think I started reading these when I was about 8. And these are probably the actual series that got me to read books, because none of them were on audiobook at the time, so I had to actually read them. I think I got them for a birthday present, and they are just amazing. I absolutely love them. They're about Tinkerbell and her friends in Neverland. I think it's called like Fairy Hollow. It's not Fairy Hollow, but it's something like that. And honestly, I just love those books. They've got like movies now too, but they aren't the same characters. But yeah, no, those books are really good. So if you've got a kid or a little girl who's just starting out reading, that would probably be a really good, easy read for them that's a chapter book. So yes, I definitely recommend those as well. Next we're going with the Spiderwick Chronicles. I love these books. Still, they are amazing. They are so realistic. Holly Black is such a great author, and yeah, Tony DiTerlizzi, yeah, these are amazing books. I even went and like bought the field guide because I thought they were so cool. As of like last year or like the year before that, I wish fairies were real. There's still a little part of me that believes they're real. Therefore, these books are amazing. Read these books. Like, these characters are so cool, and I absolutely love it. So, if you like fairies, you'll like this book. So, yes, the Spiderwick Chronicles is amazing. So, the Spiderwick Chronicles are about these 3 kids who move into a new house, and there's a fairy living in the house, and they find that out like halfway through, and then they go on an adventure that has to do with these fairies and finding out that they're real, and of course parents don't believe them, and it's really cool. So if you have to read the rest to find out the actual, like, what actually happens, but there is danger and so much. It's honestly so cool. I love these. Next, these last 2 books I don't actually own, so I can't show you them, but I can tell you about them, and I'm sure if you Google them, you'll be able to find them pretty easily. Okay, so The Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson. Kingdom Keepers is a book. It's so cool, honestly. Like, if you've got a big imagination, it's really awesome. And if you love Disney, you should definitely read it. Or if you're going to Disney World, read the books because they are so cool. It's so amazing. It's about these kids who, when they go to sleep, they wake up in the Magic Kingdom as part of like a new program they're doing. They're like holographic people. So they're halfway in the real world and halfway in like the holographic world. And they can basically, all the characters in Disney World come alive at night, and even the villains. So these kids are essentially the, how do we want to say this? They're the keepers. So they're supposed to be there to keep the peace and fight the villains, essentially. So it's so cool, and they, because the Disney villains try to escape from Disney World, where they are both trapped and not trapped at the same time, and so all the Disney heroes and things, they all come to life, and some of them are evil, and some of them are good, and some of them are neutral either way. They don't really care, they're just sort of there, and it's so cool. So if you're going to Disney World, or if you like Disney at all, you should definitely read those. Even now, like, my dad loves those books, and I still love them too, and I know there's some that I haven't read yet that I really want to go ahead and read. So yes, that is really an amazing series, so if you get the chance, you should totally read The Kingdom Keeper. And the last one is a book series called The Doll People, and it is by Anne Martin. Now, The Doll People is just so cool. It's about this little girl, and she has this antique doll set, and at night the dolls come alive and live their lives, but they have to hide from the people in like people like you and me. So the dolls, they, come alive at night and live their life and do all these things, and they just love their little girl. And they, so they do that, and then, but if a person comes, they have to freeze, and they're not allowed to show that they are actually alive to the humans. But it's just so amazing. I loved this book as a little kid because it made me wonder if my dolls were actually alive, because I've always wanted to have like little people, or I've always wanted to be like a little tiny person, like I just think that would be so much fun. And so they have these adventures in the house, and they have to, there's so many things they have to be careful about, and it's just really, really cool. So if you know of a small child, or they're just so cute and sweet, and so if you want to read like some kids books, that's definitely one that I would recommend. And honestly, they're just so cute. I just love these books so much. So yes, that is the Doll People series by Anne M. Martin. So I hope this has helped you. I don't know if what made you click on this book. Maybe you've read some of these books before. Let me know in the comments, like, hey, I read this book, or hey, I read The Warriors, let me know in the comments below. Maybe our childhoods were like a lot alike. I've found that a few people who are like my best friends now read these books as kids. So yes, you should let me know in the comments. And cool. Don't forget to subscribe. I am doing a series where every day for 80 days I upload a video. I've been getting a little backed up lately, but I seem to be right back on track today, so that is great, right? Alright, so yes, it seems like every Monday I'm going to be doing some sort of fangirl / book themed video. So you definitely want to stick around for those, so you should definitely subscribe so that like you could be part of the light community, we're just becoming the lights, and that's the sort of mission statement for Be the Light. So you should definitely stick around for that. And until next time, have a great adventure today, and don't let your lights go out. Bye guys.